Hey, Norcal Carters. It is Wednesday, not Monday. It is Wednesday, March 6th, 2024. And tonight we have a special show. We have breaking news from NCK. So Mark Morrison is in the back in the studio, and he's going to join us here in a moment. But we are streaming on Facebook, Norcal Carters, YouTube, Norcal Carters, and we are streaming on Instagram. So if I'm a little slow getting to you on Instagram, bear with us, but we are taking questions. So again, we have some event updates for NCK Road Racing. And the reason we're using the Norcal Carters platform is Mark Morrison, the president of NCK, wanted to get the information out there as fast as possible. So I just talked to Mark yesterday about everything that's going to happen. He's going to go into details. So right now they are in the process of updating their website, nckroodracing.com. And I will be in the process of updating Norcal Carters and the event page tomorrow. So without further ado, let's bring on Mark Morrison. Welcome, Mark.
Hi, how are you guys doing tonight?
We are doing good. How are you?
Doing better than what we were 2 days ago.
I know. It was a little bit of a panic phone call yesterday. So
yes.
Let's just jump into it. Let's get to the core of why you're on the show tonight. What happened? What's NCK doing to get the racers information and back on track? And we'll listen to the questions and answers in the comments and go from there. So Mark, what happened?
So Monday morning, we got a phone call and an email from the organization that we were sharing with and said, sorry, we cannot get their insurance underwriters to insure us, even though we have a $5 million policy of our own. And we've been working with this group for over 6 months, and they just wait until the last 2 weeks to drop us. So, of course, those that know me, I kind of hit the panic button and used a bunch of words and unchoice words and stuff. And we had to immediately drop and close the registration site down because I was in panic mode. Between myself and Jimmy Skyers, we found another group that was willing to share with us. So we spent yesterday and part of this morning getting that all lined up. That's why everything's pretty much been quiet, because we weren't 100% sure what we were doing in a week and a half. So we found another group to share with us at Willow Springs on March 17th for a one-day event for the same amount of track time. So the previous group that we were sharing with was Vintage Auto Racing Association, VARA. They were going to give us 5 sessions for the 2 days. So this group will give us 5 sessions for 1 day. So we salvaged the weekend because I have a driver that's flying in from England already. We all know who that is. Or if you don't, it's Ollie. He is Ollie, of course, so we had the overseas panic button happen. And then, and other people's already made lodging arrangements and rental card agreements with Aluminos. So I think we salvaged the event. This affects us throughout the whole year because with VARA, we also had a date at Buttonwillow, which has now been canceled.
So let's pause for a moment. So the first race, round 1, was originally to take place at Willow Springs on the big track.
Correct.
So now it's still going to take place at Willow Springs, but on streets of Willow.
Correct.
And instead of being March 16th and 17th, it's going to be March 17th only, but the same amount of track time.
Yes.
Okay. So that brings us up to speed there. And then we have Buttonwillow, which is coming up in May. So Buttonwillow, which was originally scheduled May 18th and 19th. What are we doing for Buttonwillow?
That date is officially canceled.
Okay.
We are working with this same group again that we're going to use next week.
Okay.
We're on a trial basis. If they like us, we like them. Then they do have a couple button willow dates farther down the year. So we will right now it's a wait and see on that. And then if we do go with them on a button willow, it'll be a 1-day event. And it'll probably be basically the same format. So
Okay.
we're gonna put button willow on hold for right now. I'm still gonna try to get us another date at button willow, but it won't be in May. So it'll probably be later. It might be early September, or they have July, September, and I think there's one more date that we can possibly look at. But I have to. If it's in the middle of July, I'm probably going to pass on it because most of my people so far, they don't like the heat and they don't like to come to Southern California in that part of the country because it's just miserable hot.
Yeah.
So it creates for a poor turnout. So button willows will wait and see. In the meantime, into April, I forgot to write the date down. I believe it's the weekend of the 28th. There's
April 27th and 28th is Chuckwalla.
It's Chuckwalla. So I encourage everybody to go to Chuckwalla. It's a fun weekend. We're going to turn it into an NCK points event. So you can either run both days or Saturday or Sunday. You're not committed to both days. They do run a different format than ours. So it's basically 2 practice sessions and a race each day.
Okay.
So, but it's fun. The entry fee for the 2 days is really reasonable. It's in the $300 range.
Okay.
And it's a great track. It's 2.1 miles, I believe, in length. I could be wrong, but it is it is at the 2-mile range. But it's a great track. So we're gonna make that a points race now to hopefully continue on with a point season for our group.
Got it.
And let's see. So
of course we have Laguna Seca coming up in October.
Yes, October.
Yeah.
I'm getting requests every day for is there a slot open? Which is great response from everybody that's still wanting in. The best I can say right now is send me an email to us and get added to the wait list. As we get closer to the date, we will have somebody that'll drop out. And so we'll need to replace that person. But we do have 160 committed drivers right now, which is going to be a spectacular event at Laguna.
Yeah, no, that is gonna be good. When you called me yesterday about the Willow Springs event, I don't know why I was thinking the track was you were going to a different track. It's like, oh crap, you have a lot of rearrangements to do, but you don't. You're still at Willow Springs. You're just not doing the big track. You'll just be at Streets of Willow, which is on the same.
Correct. So we still have a test day on the Thursday. That Thursday, Willow Springs is hosting a test day on the big track for karts only. So that's not put on by us. That is still put on by the track. That is still a committed date to the karts. So for anybody that still wants to come out and try the big track and get their feet wet, Thursday, come out and it's strictly karts only. You can drive that track until you're blue in the face and you run out of wheels and tires.
There you go. Real quickly, Bill Piles says Chuckwalla is 2.68 miles.
There we go. I knew it was over 2 miles.
Yeah. And then we have Ben Hur. name drop Ben-Hur. What association is he with?
Ben-Hur is the contact person for Southwest Karters.
Southwest
He
Carters. Okay.
Southwest Karters. He has been working with Pro Autosports over the last few years on joint ventures with them, and they mainly do races in Arizona. And they ventured into Chuckwalla, which for them is still a fairly close deal, but he supports road racing for the karting community in basically Arizona, and they run about every 6 weeks. Every time I turn around, there's a new date somewhere. So he runs a really good program. It's fun. It's relaxed, and it's just a great program to run.
Okay. Real quick, how come he's saying bring your skills? Make what happen?
Did I say that? Bring your skills, or did
Ben,
he say that? Ben. So
Yeah.
if you look at a track map of Chuckwalla,
Yep.
you're gonna go, Jesus Christ, this is an easy looking track. Well, let me tell you, it's not. It is very challenging. It does have some off-camber turns. There is some elevation change, but it's like from the first floor to the second floor in an elevator, maybe overall. It's got some speed. It's got some technical turns, and some blind turns. So it's a fun track, but once you learn it, it's a blast.
So what's that have to do with bring your skills?
Well, I took my supercart down there, which was for me was a mistake because it was just I couldn't learn the track fast enough. So I go back down. I'm just taking my slow tag cart with me, and I'm just gonna go play until I can actually learn the track.
Got it. So you're probably not understanding my question, I guess. Ben asked.
I have no skills.
They don't have scales.
Oh, scales. Scales. I thought you were saying skill.
Yeah, you gotta read the comments.
Well,
bring your scales.
They want me to bring my scales?
Yes.
I can do that.
Okay, there you go.
All right, we can bring scales. Damn it. Now everybody's going to have to put weight on.
Yeah.
Shucks. All right. Shucks. Okay.
Here. There's a track map. Check wallet.
Yes. And the turn, of course, I'm on my telephone. So the turn in the top right corner before the 180-degree horseshoe.
Yeah.
That where you make a right, because if you run it clockwise, so it'd be a right turn, left turn. That turn is off camber, and if you don't plan for it, you're going to shoot straight across through the sand onto the next section of pavement. And it's deceiving. Then there's a couple other turns that there's actually, if I'm not mistaken, there's an airstrip out there. And which is part of the facility, but you think you'll actually be running up onto the airstrip, and you're not. But yeah, it's the flyover here makes it look really simple, but you need your skills, and I'll bring my scales.
Well, I didn't think we'd talk about Chuckwalla, but that's fine. Otherwise, I'd have somebody's onboard camera.
Yeah,
going around Chuckwalla.
But last year, this event, he had, I want to say, in the mid 30 range kart count.
Okay.
Which was a good size field. And I believe, we all run together. So, and it was just, like I said, it was a fun time. So I encourage everybody to go to it. And that takes care of Chuckwalla.
That takes care of Chuckawalla.
Yes.
All right.
And then I'll put more information out on our Facebook page and our website that we're turning into a points event, and I will send out a mass email tomorrow of everything. Our registration site is open again. Okay. We did reopen it. So the registration site's been corrected as far as the date and which track it is. So that part has been corrected. Okay. So I think Ollie
register. Do they go to NCK Road Racing?
You can go to NCK Road Racing and follow the link to Track Rabbit. So okay. we did switch registration sites to a company called Track Rabbit. It is a little more challenging to get the information started. You just need to follow every single step and can't bypass a step. So most of the calls I've gotten, people have forgotten to put their phone number in, or they forgot to put the state that they live in. And all it takes is one missed box, and it will not let you advance to the next step.
Got it.
So and that's been the major problem with Track Rabbit is people just miss a spot. So, but if there's any problems, just send me an email or give me a call, and I will try to talk you through it, because I'm learning the process just as much as you people are.
Well, and that's it. That's just it. Anytime things are changed, right?
Right.
We all go through that. There was a question from, let's see here, Bill Piles.
Yes.
Which direction will we run the streets?
Oh, that's a good question. That is a very good question. The group that we are running with is going to run the streets counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise. Okay.
Which is, no, wait a minute. Did I say that right? I'll have to confirm that, because for some reason I thought it was opposite of what we were running. And we were running counterclockwise. And I think it's clockwise, but don't hold me to it. I will send that out in an email and make sure that it's on Facebook and our website.
Got it.
So, yeah, and I don't have my notes from last night on that part of it, but I'm almost positive it's opposite of what we were running. So we were running counterclockwise. Yeah, so it should be clockwise. So we'll be going uphill from the start finish line instead of downhill. But that could be changed somewhere down the road. As far as camping Saturday night, I don't know anything about that yet, but I'll put information out about that. Gates will open at 6:30 Sunday morning. Our drivers meeting will be at 7:30. I haven't got the run group order yet from them. I'm hoping that we're in the middle of the pack and not first. I told them I didn't want to be first, because I hate sending carts out on a dusty track or who knows what. I'd rather be dead last going out than first, just for safety reasons. Pitting, we're going to be at the top of the hill pitting, so where pit out is, will be above that uphill.
And so you'll have that information going out in the email?
Yes, we'll put that information out in the email. Yeah, we will be running clockwise, because we go pit out at the old wooden shack, and we come off track at the brick building. So that is clockwise direction.
Got it. Yeah, and then there's also if you're on Instagram, I don't know if you're getting this feed or not, but we are on Facebook and we are on YouTube on Norcal Karters. But my Instagram page on my side, I was trying to update some of the information via the comments and it froze up. So it looks like you're still live. It's just my screen's frozen as far as sending comments. So if you're on Instagram and you want to chat, you'll have to switch over to YouTube, Norcal Karters, or Facebook. Let's see. Do we got any more questions coming in on those two platforms? I don't see any right now. But so that track map, that's Streets of Willow.
Yes.
Yep. And then let's see here. We will circle back on let's see, Willow Springs, Streets of Willow, March 17th, 1 day only. And then you were talking about, in case people are just joining us, you're talking about there's a practice day at the big track at Willows on which day? March what?
That Thursday, 14th. Is that the 14th? 16, 17, 15. Yes, March 14th, Thursday.
Yep.
Okay, it's all day. It's carts only. It's hosted by the racetrack, not NCK. So
Okay.
you have to check into the Willow Springs office and pay their practice day fee, which I believe is $175.
Okay. And then did you say what you're splitting the track on the 17th with another race group? Did you say
Another group is called Slip Angle Events.
Slip Angle Events. Okay. And what do they do?
They do mainly cars.
But
so
like, are they drifters? Are they?
No, they do sports cars. Normally they run 4 groups of different levels, but they do have timing and scoring for their groups.
Got it.
So Bill Piles, if you're listening, and Todd Cameron, I got money on you guys that you two will probably be the fastest vehicles on the track, and I got beer on this, so don't let me down.
How much beer and what kind?
Cold and lots of it.
Okay. Let's see. Bill Piles, yeah, he's tuned in. Todd Cameron's tuned in.
So because you
local Brian Liberante, he's tuned in.
Because usually these car groups, when carts show up for the first time, most of the people are go-karts, until somebody goes out and spanks a blistering time and it drops all their jaws, so.
I meant to do that the other day. I'm afraid to say it on the show. I'm not usually afraid to run my mouth, but.
Right.
And I can't, it was on Facebook and it was in one of the groups. And everyone knows I'm trying to get new guys in the sport, and it's like, but at some point when people get into the sport, they need to have an understanding of what kart racing is. And I can't remember what group it was, but someone was building a kart and they had like a 1980s Track Magic or something with whatever the 1980s IAME engine was. They wanted to convert it to a shifter, and everyone's saying, don't. It just go buy a shifter. Just go buy a Track Magic shifter. And the guy was just hell bent on turning this Track Magic this pretzel cart into a shifter. And he posted a picture of him in a supercar. It's like, no, I can drive fast. Here's my supercar. And I almost thought the picture was from Speed Vegas. And I wanted to kind of troll the guy and say, what was your lap time in that supercar at Speed Vegas? And then bring up the lap times from NCK from a couple of years ago. But
yes,
then my ADD kicked in, and I forgot to go revisit that post. But maybe I will have to do that.
We did a shared date one year at Laguna Seca, and it was with a like a hooked on driving group or something like that, and they give us a session for the 2 days, and here we're stuffed in a corner and all these carts and stuff. And these guys have some old NASCAR cars, and it was assorted hot rod cars, and they just going, same thing, these guys ain't fast, and they're slow and they're just taking track time. Well, I think Anthony Williams ran out and ran a 130. Let's just say a 135.
Yeah.
He was the fastest vehicle at the facility for the weekend.
Yeah. Well, and let's just be real about it. Just karting, like in our small group of motorsports and racers, it's the best thing ever. But when someone that doesn't know what they're looking at or understand the performance, they're not sexy. It's much easier to kind of sell the image of a 25-year-old Southwest car than it is
Sure.
a current supercart. But
for the speed, the lap times, and the amount of money that you spend, you cannot beat the cost of racing a go-kart sprint or road race.
Yeah, and that's one of the jobs of Norcal Karters is to educate people on that. Say, hey, these things do haul ass.
No, and it is, and it was the first time I went to a kart road race. It was like, holy crap! I thought running the sprint series was what was fast until I ran a road course, and it was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
But
cool
yeah.
stuff. Well, you and I can talk about this all night long, but
I know it.
Then people will forget why you came on the show. So let's do a quick recap. You have round one, NCK road racing is still taking place at the Willow Springs facility, but instead of Big Willow, it's going to be on Streets of Willow.
Correct.
One day only. March 17th. I just found a typo in my own little headline there. March 17th, one day only. Why is there a question about camping at the track? If you were running camping okay?
If you can get in before the gate closes, you can stay at the facility. Okay. The group that shunned us, I don't know if they have the facility overnight, or they have the facility. They're still running for the 2 days.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So if they paid for security guards, then we will be able to camp.
Okay.
But if not, if you got to get in before the gate closes.
So those will be some details that'll come.
Yeah, them are details that we're going to work out between now and then.
So last night I was actually feeling bad for you. Now it's like I feel bad you killed my buzz because.
Oh, I'm sorry, but
I was thinking you were moving whole locations like hundreds of miles, and you had to fight with that in the inbox this morning.
You talking about midlife crisis? I had it Monday morning, so
yeah,
I wasn't a happy person, and Jimmy and myself, and Jimmy made the original contact with these people, and he worked so hard to get this date going, and everything was fluid. And then it just the last month or so, it was, of course, I get into where I have to start dealing with the logistics of, personnel and insurances, and they just kept avoiding my questions, and it's just like, okay, it's getting close, they didn't want the information so we could be added to the insurance rider, vice versa. And then Monday, they just said, sorry, we've got new underwriters and they won't insure us.
Got it. So the way the racers can avoid this in the future, and I'm going to hammer this every time I have a promoter on, bring a friend.
Absolutely bring a friend
to lift your go-kart. Bring a friend to put them in the cart. Because if you guys had 100 entries, none of this would matter because you could rip the track and it would be much more affordable.
Yes. And of course, Jason knows how I harp on cost of what these facilities cost us. If I could have 100 drivers show up to Buttonwillow, Willow Springs, Thunder Hill, entry fees wouldn't be $400 or $500. They would be really reasonable in the $200 range.
Yep. And that's every promoter. Every promoter bases their entry fees off of pre history of how many entries they've had in the past.
Right. So it's and now and it's not just us, it's other organizations and stuff. Your prices are set on your hard. We have our hardcore racers that race rain or shine. And I
Yep.
have to set our prices according to them. And of course, they're the ones that are suffering in the long run because they're still paying because they enjoy the sport. And they're paying a higher fee for this stuff. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, at some point, I don't want to be Debbie Downer. It's going to reach a breaking point. And also, we have more people on the track. Let's be real; it's more fun.
sure,
Most racers are very competitive, and they want the best competition. Just bring a friend. It's that easy. Bring a friend.
and I have people say, well, why can't we just do a test day? Well, that piece of pavement costs the same amount of money to rent.
Yeah.
You still have to have a safety crew. You still have to have corner. You still have to staff it. So the only thing, if you just do a fun day, the only thing you leave home is you don't bring scoring because we're not scoring. And so there's a little savings there, but you're paying somebody's wages for a day.
Yeah.
So it still costs the same just to do test days.
Well, I'm gonna cut you off on that because you and I have hammered it over and over and again. But we do have a question that came in from James Gwinnett. Let's see. Do you get many single speed carts? And he's specifically saying KA 100 at the events.
We have we have a couple show up.
I'll answer it for him. James, for the single speed stuff, one of their bigger classes is the 125 tag. So your Vortex GP, your Rotax, your Leopards, that's going to be bigger than the KA 100 classes.
Yeah. Now we are starting to show interest in the what's that? The Rok 100. Is there 100?
The Rok 100 air cooled would be the VLR.
All right. So there's
comparable to the KA 100.
All right. So there's I've had interest in people coming out with that.
Yep.
So there is that. We do have KT 100 classes.
Yeah.
So
and you've also had an interest from the Briggs racers.
Yes.
So the Briggs racers. So the biggest thing, again, guys, if you're listening, get together 10 of your buddies and go, hey, we're Briggs, we're 206, or there's a 10 of us in 100cc, and then give Mark a phone call or an email and say, hey, I got 10 of my guys. If we pre-register, what is our run group? And are we going to have a chance to race? And Mark, if you got 10 extra entries, your answer is probably yes.
Oh, of course. The way we're set up is everybody runs. Even if it's a single cart, we put him in a group that's like speed, and just go out and have fun. And it's just because you're not racing another KT 100, you might be racing one of these new motors, but it's still you're racing somebody.
Yeah. And NCK, they do a good job of mixing and matching the different classes and the engine packages based on speed and run groups. So I thought you guys have always done a good job on that, except for when you had the Briggs out there with the shifters. But you only did that one time.
The Briggs guys pissed me off, so I thought I'd put them out there as targets.
Yeah, but I think all the shifter guys had to buy new underwear.
I can't say that. But
not when Briggs is the largest segment of local karting.
When I was in Daytona, there was 60 plus 4-strokes at Daytona.
Yep. Running
2.5 miles on a road course in a pack, having a blast.
Yeah.
And out here, I don't know what it is. They just don't want to come play. I know it's expensive, but it's, if they can put 64 strokes, and of course I call them tater diggers. If they can put 60 tater diggers at Daytona and run, then they can run with us as well.
Yeah. All right. We have another question from Ray. You'll know Ray. Is it Chiappy or Chappy?
Okay.
Is that his name? Ray
Yes.
Chiappy?
I just say, hey, you.
Oh, hey, you. Okay. So, Ray, what are the chances on Thunder Hill West track?
Not this year.
Not this year. All right.
Nope.
Bring a friend.
Thunder Hill has raised their cost up, and until there again, we find another group to share with at
Or
Thunder
bring
Hill. What's
bring a
that?
friend.
Bring a friend.
Bring a friend. We're not going to talk about cost. Bring a friend. If you bring a friend, the cost will go down.
Correct.
I don't mean to cut you off, Mark.
That's fine. But you know me, I keep harping on the same crap. So
I know. And I have a tendency to do it too.
and
If
I'm
you are on Instagram and this is live, I apologize. I can't get to the comments right now because the Instagram feed is frozen. I can see myself move and talk. I'm about 3 seconds delayed, but I can't post or do anything on the Instagram feed. So if you're on Instagram and you're listening and you have a question, you'll have to switch over to YouTube, Norcal Karters, or Facebook, Norcal Karters. Let's see. What are the chances on Thunder Hill West track? You just answered that. Not this year because no one brought enough friends last year.
correct.
Ben Hur. Briggs are okay as long as you have two of them. And he doesn't mean two on the track. He means two on the chassis. Or
Yes.
two-stroke at that point.
And if I remember right, it was fast too.
I imagine. Then it would have like 6 horsepower.
Yeah, if I remember right, he ran that at Speed Vegas.
Did he?
Uh-huh.
Was that had to be a custom chassis too, right?
It was something he brewed up.
It was something. It was something.
Yes.
All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Do we have any more questions? I think that's all of our questions for the event.
Sounds good.
So I think we did okay.
I think so.
And you know what? Like I said, the news, I don't want to put track names out there because I don't want to confuse people. But I thought you were going like 150-mile difference, and that's why it was an oh shit moment, not 50 feet.
No, if it meant that's why I waited so long to do this. If it meant we had to go, let's say, to Buttonwillow or someplace else, I'd have just canceled the event.
Yeah. Last night when I was talking to you, I had in my head that's what you had to do, and it's like, oh great. I don't want to be in his inbox this morning because everyone's going to complain about hotels and everything.
That's all right. When I went to work, they locked me in my little room because they could tell I was pissed off.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, so let's do a quick recap. March 17th is the new day. Streets of Willow instead of Big Willow. So one day only. Camping may or may not be available. Mark will send out more information once he has that, unless you show up early on the 16th to get in before they lock the gate. And then we had, right now you said Buttonwillow on the calendar, round number 3 at Buttonwillow is going to be canceled.
Yes.
Because that was also a shared event with the same group.
Yes.
So you are working on another date, possibly July or September.
Yeah.
I want to play devil's advocate, and people are probably going to yell at me. I don't like September. It's too close to Laguna Seca. And if people didn't pre-register for Laguna Seca, you should have pre-registered for Laguna Seca. But I'm not part of NCK. I'm just a mouthpiece with my own website.
That's it. I can only do what the drivers want.
Yeah. But me personally, I mean, Laguna's expensive. This is going to, in our world in sprint karting, your Laguna Seca event is going to be our Las Vegas event. So
yes,
I can imagine a lot of your racers are going to blow their wad, and they already have things planned for Monterey and Carmel and all of that. That's just my 2 cents.
Oh, no, that's everything that we have to take into consideration too.
And you can tell me to pound sand because you could look at the last time I raced at NCK and go, hey, your opinion doesn't matter.
I can't say that because you might not host this for me again.
You're a sponsor. I have to.
All right, sir.
Okay, so Bill Piles, thanks for the meeting, Jason and Mark. You're welcome, Bill Piles.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks for the track length of Chuckwalla, 2.68 miles.
Yes.
And, are you done, Mark?
Yes, I'm done unless anybody's got any quick questions.
We'll give it about 30 seconds for any more questions. Again, if you're watching on Instagram, I can't read or respond to any of the comments. So you'll have to go over to YouTube or Facebook on the Norcal Karters page, and which you should be subscribed to those anyway. If you have a comment, we'll give you about 30 more seconds. And then let me bring up the big news. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Oh, interesting. I just found a little bug in my program.
Okay. Well, if anybody has any questions, go to nckroadracing.com. Follow the links. You can get a hold of me there, or on Facebook. Just ask your questions. Usually I respond within an hour or so.
Very cool. And thank you everyone for tuning in. So it's, again, March 17th, still at Willow Springs, but instead of Big Willow, it's going to be at Streets of Willow. 1-day event only, not a 2-day event. Go to NCK Road Racing after tonight, so tomorrow or later. They will update the information on nckroadracing.com, and you will also be able to register on nckroadracing.com. What are you looking at, Mark?
My illustrious vice president just signed in. He's laughing at me.
Thank you both for hosting.
Right.
And then James, we are pre-registered for Laguna. Mark was great to answer questions by email. Yeah, Laguna is going to be good, and we're going to actually start hitting that pretty hard in the next week or two as far as promoting it and looking for sponsors. We are working on pricing now for sponsorship packages. So things for Laguna are actually coming along pretty nicely.
And then probably within the next 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to con Jason in again, and then we will cover Laguna registration. Actual registration for the event will open up here pretty soon, and we'll go over all the details of that and start pushing the Laguna information throughout more media outlets.
That's what I should do. I should do a walkthrough on this platform of the registration.
Yes.
Patty Estrella or Estrella? I'm really good at messing up names. What about next year at Sears Point?
Okay, Sears Point.
The cat out of the bag, Mark.
I have been in conversations with Sears Point on a date for next year. They are in favor of it. We haven't actually set down a date. I have asked for 3 days at Sonoma in decent weather. And my goal right now is to bring back the IKF Road Race Grand Nationals.
There you have it. And in case you missed it in the past, Mark and I have touched on the topic. This year, Laguna Seca is the marquee event. Next year, Mark's working on Sonoma. The third year, I don't know, Mark, name drop a track you would like to work with in 3 years.
Miller Motorsports.
So Miller Motorsports. And then the fourth year, repeat the cycle. So
then, the fourth year will go back to Sonoma. Fifth year will be Laguna. So Sonoma will actually be, if everything works out, Sonoma will be every other year.
Perfect.
And then with Laguna and Miller Motorsports thrown in the middle. Nice. Laguna is a once every 5-year event. So
yeah,
no sooner than that.
And if you want to know why, it's because not enough of us, including myself, bring friends to the track to race with us.
Laguna, you need to bring 5 friends, not
5
one,
friends.
but 5
5
friends.
friends. So I hope that answers your. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. That would be great. Yeah. So that's the plan for NCK in the next coming years. Let's see. I think that's it. And again, if you're on Instagram, sorry if I missed your comments. It froze up on me. This happened to me last time too. And with the Instagram thing, it only freezes up when I try to respond to comments or if I post stuff in the chat. So I'll have to address that somehow, but that'll be down the road. All right, Mark.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Hope to see you in a week or so. Thank you, Jason, for doing this. And I will talk to everybody later.
Mark,
Night all.
thank you and NCK for being supporters of Norcal Karters. And it's been going on 3 or 4 years now.
Yes.
So
and I appreciate everything you do for karting.
So we try. Ashley and I just keep plugging away at it. But
that's it.
If some of you are wondering out there why Mark got a special show, one, he's a he pays for the calendar listing, for the Max calendar listing, and it's just an added benefit that Norcal Karters does for the clubs that are all on board with Norcal Karters. So he called me yesterday, said, "I need your help. We need to get a live stream out there. Can we do it tomorrow night?" I go, let me. My real answer was, let me ask my wife. And tonight's family night, but she said that's fine. So here we are. We're doing a quick informational broadcast. And Mark, NCK, all the racers, thank you for your support of Norcal Karters.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna put you in the studio real quick.
All righty.
All right, that was Mark Morrison, NCK Road Racing. You can find more information about the date change the track change from Big Willow to Streets of Willow. One-day event only, March 17th. Mark will be sending out an email in the next day or two with more information, and they will be updating their website. And honestly, they may have updated the website already, and it's just not cleared out of my cache. When I hit refresh, it was still the old dates with the big track information. But nckroadracing.com, and you can find out the information. And then also, unfortunately, at this moment, the May Button Willow event has been canceled. I'm not going to say postponed, but canceled for now. Mark will be working on a new date. And he did say that right now it possibly looks like a July date or a September date. So thank you all for joining. Again, NCK, to all the racers as NCK, Norcal Karters does appreciate your support. So that's why we did this quick kind of a breaking news a live stream for you. And just remember, all of this can be avoided for the most part. NCK wouldn't have to share the track with other organizations and kind of be strapped to them for these changes if we all just bring one friend to come race with us. So if you're out the track and you have a buddy that thinks they might enjoy it, just bring them out. So that's it. If we all bring one person to the sport, we'll double by next year. And everybody have a great evening.